Hey everyone, I'm gonna try to show you how to use the the LNav in the Boeing 737 Max-8 in Flight Simulator 2024. So I'm just kind of going through and selecting a mission right now. Let me sure I'm actually recording. Excellent, I'm recording. Okay, yeah, and so right now, just trying to get the mission set up. Because what I want to show you is I want to show you that I'm not doing anything special. In fact, the only special thing I do is I'm going to sell all my fuel because I have a quantity for set. A button for add fuel quantity. Oh no, try this again. My button for add fuel quantity, and that allows me to, at the end of every flight, I just load up the plane with fuel with the button, and then I can resell it before each next flight. So that way I don't have to pay money for every single maintenance bug that happens in Flight Sim. The reason why I'm going through all these steps right now, so you can see what I see, which is loading up the career mode, selecting a random flight for the purposes of, you guys can see what I see. I like my Neymar character here. That was unintentional. I'm actually going to skip ahead directly to taxi. So I'm hitting the skip button on my controller, on my left of my keyboard. So let's see if the plane crashes, because it just crashed. Okay, good. So not crashing. Engines are on. Flaps set to 5. You can notice the fuel is set to 0. Once the cockpit loads, you look in the bottom left, and I have a fuel issue. What's interesting is the engines are still running, right? So I'm not sure why. Fuel set to 0. So I'm currently gonna just press the button twice to add fuel quantity. You can see fuel has now been added to the plane, and I've got plenty of fuel. So let's request taxi. Okay, so requesting taxi. Now let me load up the EFB. This is my route. It's great. I'm just gonna hit send route to avionics, and if we go here into the flight computer, you can see by clicking legs, I can scroll through my route. Now, if you look here, I've got a box here. I'm gonna hit delete and click on that box, and then I hit execute. So now I've got a continuous flight plan. That box was a discontinuity, which the flight plan won't be able to capture the LNav component of it. One thing I'm going to do as well is once we are in the air, I'm going to cancel IFR. The reason being is you don't really need that. Although I'm not sure if I want to cancel it before or after the passengers are served their food. All right, so let's increase our sim rate to, well, I'll just do 2 for now. Increasing sim rate, because I don't want to overspeed on the taxi component, so we're currently going 2 times sim rate. Welcome to passengers. Congratulations, guys. I don't know why your captain's saying all this. Trim set appropriately, flap set appropriately. Passengers have their seatbelt signs on. Nope. Sit down, you heathens. So I've got the sim rate set to currently 2x, and so one question is, how do you see the sim rate speed? You can see here when I start the EFB timer, it goes twice as fast. And it's not being sped up within the video itself, that's just me increasing the speed. Ground speed is currently set to, it's currently 21, so I'm going too hot. I'm declining my speed so I don't get a warning. This airport is very, very hilly, apparently. So we climb up this hill. One reason why I'm not skipping ahead directly to takeoff is I tried doing that on a previous take and the game crashed. You can't trust it not to crash on you, which is just lovely, but it's what we play. Now we're going downhill. Still going downhill. Wow, they built this airport on top of a, I don't know, trash heap or something. It's very, very unlevel. So while we get ready for takeoff, remember the one thing I did on the EFB to, and I'm still going twice the speed, is I removed the discontinuities by deleting them from the flight computer. Okay, I can probably turn my sim rate down to 1, so I just did that via a hotkey and see, good, now we're going at a reasonable speed. Okay, QNH 1032. All right, clear for takeoff. This is really what everyone's here for. Okay, we're up in the air. So I'm gonna go ahead and just turn on autopilot immediately for the purposes of making things easier for everyone to understand. I get gears up. So I've got I don't have LNav or heading on. So let me first turn on heading selector. So turning on heading selector, and then I hit this LNav button. I found that if you hit the LNav immediately, it doesn't work. But once you've done the intercept, once you've gone in and you've intercepted the flight plan, which I've done here, then it works pretty easily. And that, as I'm not flying the plane right now, the plane is currently flying itself. So the LNav component is working as expected. I'm gonna go ahead and just increase the sim rate so you can see it. Okay, so there's my handoff. So I hit acknowledge handoff here, but I'm not actually going to tune into the next center. I'm just gonna kind of leave it hanging. They don't need to know who I am or where I am. That way I don't have to deal with not having an AI co-pilot managing the air traffic on these long flights. So we're currently 3 miles from our next waypoint. So So I think LNav will be controlling the plane and making a right turn pretty much now. Let's see how good I am at that. Yep, there's your right turn. Cool thing about the 737 is like this green arc will tell you at what point you're done completing your climb on an expected level. I'm not following VNav because I haven't figured out how to exactly program VNav on here, and I also don't. I've read that you can't quite trust it yet, although that just might be user error. But for now, I think LNav's working great. So I can sit back and let the plane take off, turn off all the lights that I forgot to turn on, anti-ice is all on, and plane's going on its own. All right, with that, I'll show you how to set up an approach, an RNav approach that'll automatically glide the plane in once we get to our destination.